You are looking live at the Nasdaq, a daily chart, which shows the last 2 days pulling back a little bit, which I kind of like. After this big run up last week, I did go to the weekly chart yesterday and show that, last week we had a 400 and something, 455 point move and 2.85%. So you got to expect a little give back here as it gets a little extended, L stretcho, and then back to the 10 EMA. Not a big deal. Today it was down 68 points or 0.42% and closed at 16,316. Volume was slightly lower below a daily. You could see the daily average volume here, and it's been below it for a while now. And this is the end of this week is the last week of the quarter, and typically, fund managers are audited at the end of the quarter, so they want some window dressing. They have to own NVIDIA and some of these, strong stocks, and of course, and you take profits, right? That's what it looked like to me. Window dressing in the morning, profit taking into the close. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But the Nasdaq, I better give you the percentages here. It's 0.2% above this green line, which is the 10 EMA, 1% above the 21, which is this magenta, and then it's still 3.1% above the 50. So very healthy market, definitely in an uptrend. This week, little give back. It's a holiday shortened week. Yeah, I wouldn't read too much into this action. I don't. Your leading stocks are still leading and still doing well. And that's how you gauge the market. Speaking of leading stocks, I'm going to get to our leading stocks here. NVIDIA is one of our leading stocks. I just wanted to point out this is this is yesterday's action on 25th. How it ran up, this is total, window dressing and then selling into the close, profit taking. Today it was up, it started up here and then sold off pretty quickly and then into the close. Or you can see just a fall off, a waterfall into the close. But like I said, overall trending higher, not a big deal, just giving some back. Still 1.6% above the 10 EMA and 6.2% above the 21. So just trending in the right direction. Wouldn't get too excited. It'll probably do the same thing tomorrow, open up higher. And if you're looking to get into the stock, I mean, I would rather pay, 925 for it than whatever it was this morning, 960, right? Or 950. So I wouldn't get too excited about this week's action. We're monitoring it, but you got to expect this give and take. We used to call it backing and filling, digestion, whatever you want to call it, consolidating gains. It looks fine. AMD, this one spiked in the middle of the session today. I thought it was going to have a strong day, and then it did like everything else did, right? Here it had this big spike in the middle of the session. No rhyme or reason. Just, some people want to have an AMD in their portfolios and then sold off into the close. But, overall, what was it? Yeah, call it flat on the day, 76 cents. Just hugging the 50 here. AMD is just a strange trading stock. ARM is one that I wanted to talk about here. This one was really ramping in the morning. Started off like a house of fire. And then cold water got poured on it right there at 145. We're at 35 minutes into the session. There's a 145, and then whoo, nice little avalanche trade there down to what, 130 or something. Even below that, God, 129 something. Anyway, I think that the day it closed, 128. I don't know. It's still closed right at its 21 there, 1.2% below the 21. If you look at the weekly, I don't know. Sometimes I think we just, overanalyze these things and watch them way too closely. Still in this, flag pattern, the big trade from, like 75 to whatever it was, 160, and now forming a flag. And it's still forming that flag unless it takes out the low from this week here, which is what, 115, I think, something like that. Then I might start getting a little more, the low is 115.49. Then I might start getting a little more concerned. But to me, this is just flagging out, trading sideways. Yeah, it's up, it's fluctuating at 15, $20, but still within a trade range. Broadcom, another one of these leaders in the semiconductor AI space. Yeah, I gave back $20 today, 1.5%. Not a big deal. Still trading well above its moving averages. To me, those are looking fine. All of them. Yeah, I would like to see AMD bounce off the 50, but it's going to do what it wants to do. As long as it doesn't crash and burn, these things are trending higher. The moving averages are trending higher, and as long as they're above the moving averages, they're going to go higher. So it's pretty much common sense. Anyway, Super Micro, this one I got an alert this morning. I was out and about, and I got an alert. It was hit 1100. So I thought, oh, SMCI, I'm going to have a good day, right? Nope, wrong, not so fast. This thing did the same thing that all the other stocks did. Yeah, it ramped at the open up to 1100. Like I say, window dressing. People want to own it, have it in their portfolio, and then into the close, just sold off. Close what at 1025? Yeah, okay. This thing could move 200 points in a day, so I'm not really worried about it. A $17 move to the downside. SMCI looks fine. And you can see this moving average is trending higher here. The 50 is 28% above the 50, 4 above the 21, and 1.3% above the 10. So SMCI looks fine to me. Let me see. What was the next one? Oh, Vert. This one it just keeps going higher and higher. It looks like it just wants to trade up to $100. This was another one that started off like a house of fire this morning. Woo, look at this. And then just gave it most of it all back. Yeah. I mean, Jensen talked about it last week at the GPU technology conference. And when the king puts the crown on your head, it's been up almost every day since he mentioned Vertiv Holdings. They have earnings on April 24th. So we're going to be getting into earnings season here and in April. So that will definitely be the tail of the tape. Oh, by the way, I wanted to show one thing about on the weekly chart on Market Surge. If you have Market Surge, they put in this earnings line here. So every 3 months, you get another demarcation here. And you can see NVIDIA's last 3 or 4 earnings have just been stellar. So it's pointing due north. Well, and then the stock is going north as well. Because, typically earnings are the greatest driver of stock appreciation, or, earnings can be the greatest driver of depreciation if they're going south. But obviously, NVIDIA's growing their earnings, as you can see by this line. I'm going to get to that in another couple of stocks here, including MU. I wanted to show this. This is important for me. First of all, I'm going to go to the monthly chart. And MU has had this, base from July of 2000. So you're talking about nearly 24-year base. It was at 97 here. It broke out last week at, 92. So this is 24 years of a base. And now it breaks higher. Well, why does it break higher? This earnings reversal here. You can see the earnings going down, 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 down. And now, boom, the last 2 quarters, I believe. Yeah, starting to show growth here, 16%, 58%. And this is the AI, revolution starting to show up in these companies' balance sheets and bottom line, top and bottom line here. You can see the estimates going forward here, 70, 80%. So that's why Micron is trading higher. And what happens is, these analysts who, visit these manufacturing plants and talk to all the vendors, they have a pretty good idea of what this stock is worth. And then all of a sudden it comes in with an earnings surprise of 58% from 16%, 58% year over year growth. That's not priced in. They thought it was a $80 stock, and now they have to reconfigure their models, and they're figuring maybe it's a $150 stock. So that's why they come out with these, upgrades with, raised price targets and all that. But Micron definitely showing strength. Gapped higher on right after earnings, 14% with strong volume, and now every day it's been up higher and higher. This is the AI revolution unfolding in front of our very eyes. Jensen talked about the power that's needed for these the AI revolution, and this is a constellation. This is a nuclear energy. Well, it has a lot of different types of energies. It's a spinoff from Exelon, has quite a few different, it does residential and commercial. But you can see, it's been really strong stock today, just like the rest of them, right? Window dressing at the open, and whoop, we don't want this. We're going to take profits. So, I wouldn't read too much into that action. It's still, there at that $185 level. Looks pretty darn good to me. Some of the other ones that are just showing strength, this data center play, this energy play. This is Sterling. It was up nice day today, still forming this shelf pattern after the breakout. That thing looks fantastic. Power, I call it power. It's Quanta Services, just trading higher. This thing is a monster. The picks and shovels for this AI revolution are showing their strength here. And this is what I would consider an auxiliary play. This isn't, this isn't the brains of AI. This is the muscle. And anyway, let me see. Caterpillar, data center, power play. Yeah, just showing strength here. Just surfing its moving averages. It looks fantastic. Cat normally doesn't trade like this, making new highs all the time. Eaton, another one, same thing, surfing its moving averages. These things are super strong stocks. The energy into this AI revolution, this is a real thing. For me, this is just getting started. I believe this new bull market is going to run for a few years, and there's going to be lots of opportunities, and these stocks are definitely flashing, obviously. I mean, they're making new highs and just showing incredible strength. All right, I'm going to go to the software names. Samsara, this is one that I called this a stair stepper, and people ask me what the hell I'm talking about. Stair stepper stock is one that, goes up, like boom, straight up. Oh, wow, this is an awesome stock. And then just goes sideways for like, 3 months. And then it goes up on an earnings report, and then it just goes sideways for 3 months. Boom. And then it goes up on an earnings report and just goes sideways and forms this like the stair stepping, right? But you have to be in it for earnings report, right? Which carries a lot of risk, as we've seen with Elastic and some of these other software names, Snowflake. So in order to get the benefit from the stock, you have to own it through earnings, and we know that carries a ton of risk. So that's why I don't like this stock, and I'm not going to own it. Yeah, okay, it's 39.40. It looks great. It's in a base, but that's all it does. It's in a base, and it goes up on earnings. So that's what I call a stair stepper stock, and I just want to clarify that. I did mention Snowflake. Yeah, this is what happens in earnings. You hold it into earnings. You lose your short. Same with Elastic. It gapped higher the last couple of earnings. This has got a little stair stepper, motif here, and then just had earnings and just blew through the 50 and down back to 100 from 136. So that's not fun, and that's why I don't like IoT, and I don't like stair stepper stocks. I don't want to have to carry them through earnings, and maybe I want to trim some into earnings, and if it gaps higher, fine, I could buy it back. But man, this nonsense of having to carry everything through earnings carries a ton of risk. And anyway, Appfolio was up today. It was entered into the S&P 600, I believe it was. And so sometimes when they go into an index, they gap higher. Sometimes they don't. We've seen recently, but Appfolio up nearly 10%. This was on our ready list a couple weeks ago, last week, I don't know. But yeah, it definitely had that, pull back to the 21 breakout, pull back to the 21 and lighter volume. So that one looked pretty good. DUOL, this one to me looks pretty good. Now today people were bugging me like, oh man, this thing looks horrible. It looks fine. Whenever a stock makes a run up the right, see, it's forming this cup shaped pattern here, nice and symmetrical cup. And then all of a sudden it goes from 171 to 241. I mean, that's a $70 move in like a week. So normally you want to see the right side of the base build, gradually. This one did it all in a week. And so then it pulls back. It's got to shake out these weak hands here. So it's not just going to, hit that 241 and then blast off the 300. It's got to, that's a process, but it needs to shake people out. You can see that it's like a half a cup. And then boom, 1 week it went up. I just said $70, didn't I? So I'm going to get the percentage here. It went up Oh man, 33%. Yeah. And 33% of your value in 1 week. So now it's just starting to shake out these, folks. You want to see a base more like Elf made, when he's nice, symmetrical bases. Elf trades nice and easy, tight trading, another base here, tight trading. That's kind of what you want to see in your base. You don't want to see it like Duolingo, just go, you know, um, what did I say? 171 to 241. Yeah, all in a week because there's going to be some profit takers in there. You say, I don't want this stock. I'm just take the money and run. I'm going to go buy something else, right? And so it's still, it's being supported at the 21, which is fine. But you just got to give it time. I mean, if you own it, you got to give it time. If you're thinking of buying it, I mean, I'd rather buy it at 223 than 241. Why wait for that standard buy point? Get in there early. Um, I may even have done that today. I kind of like the action in the stock. I can go to the 5-minute chart because people are screaming. You're like, oh my God, this thing's falling apart. It went down to 218. Well, it looks like it did have this little spike to the downside there, but kind of bottomed out, then just kind of rallied up and finished flat on the session. It looks fine to me. What was it? It was down $3, 1.3%. Not a big deal for a stock that can really move like that. Anyway, I'm going to move on. CrowdStrike. This is the best house in a bad neighborhood. Going sideways. I like the way this thing's trading. You see, this is tight trading. I would call this a base, a flat base at 338 there. Is definitely a number of interest for me. How many weeks has this been? Yeah, I'd say it starts here, 336 on February 9th. Yeah, it spiked that the downside, spiked to the upside. His earnings moves with the Zscaler Palo Alto reporting earnings, and then they reported earnings this week. And now it's kind of just flat. I really like the way CrowdStrike is trading. I don't really like the group though. A lot of them have fallen apart, but CrowdStrike, like I said, the best house in a bad neighborhood. All right, let's move on. Oh, Net looked like it was going to break out today. It was really moving. And then you know what happened at the end of the session, everything fell apart. They just sold everything. So yeah, I had this nice smooth run going today, and then sold off into the close. So I'm still really interested in Net around that $100 level. TOST, this is another one on our ready list. Like the consolidation here, and then the pullback to the 21. This is trading to my liking, but it's got to break out of this whole this whole general area. 27, 26. It's got to break above that sharply. But I still like the stock. I like the consolidation. I like the pullback. Yeah, I like the chart. So we'll see with TOST. Anyway, I wanted to show app loving today. This is a classic having a good day. Oh yeah, we're up a couple bucks, and all of a sudden we talk about the avalanche trade. 74.5 to 70.5, $4 in like, I don't know, 10 minutes. My gosh, that's tough to take, but that's the stock market. It's not I mean, overall you look at it and you go, oh, okay, it's up pretty good, made a new high there and then pull back 2%. Looks fine, right? That's why you don't want to watch the stocks too closely during the session. Anyway, I got to move on. I'm digressing today. This is Corebridge, the insurance company. Yeah, we had it on our ready list last week, but it's gone now. Just made a new high. I'm just trying to show some strength in the market here now. Allstate, I really should have had this one on our ready list this week. You can see that nice symmetrical cup shape pattern now breaking out to new highs. Ryan, it's got the ants pattern, the David Ryan ants pattern. Pull back to the 10 today. Looks fine. These are strong stocks. Bro, whenever I show insurance, I got to show Bro because it's my favorite ticker symbol. Yeah, just surfing. Bro is surfing its moving average. So the insurance are great. Anyway, I got to move on to the drug stocks. Viking, I've been talking about this one a lot. You guys probably get tired of me talking about it, but it had this this pole and flag pattern. I wouldn't call it a high tight flag, but it definitely had that that 120% move, and then kind of flagged it was flagging back and now broke above. I thought it would, ramp a little higher on that news today of the oral data for their weight loss. This is just weight loss. This is not for kidney or cardiovascular like Novo, but it is oral form, pill form. So very good news for Viking. Definitely one to keep an eye on for takeover targets. Speaking of which, Johnson & Johnson says, I don't know, they're in talks to buy Shockwave, which wouldn't shock me. This is a really good company. Medical systems equipment. They've got real nice technologies, state of the art. It was up 10% on that news. We'll see what happens with Johnson & Johnson. Prax, this one had a positive 1-2 trial with epilepsy drug medicine. Had it was the data was so positive they just ended the trial. It was up 23% on that news, so that's good news for that group. And this is STOK, and this one was up on another positive trial. It was a disease I've never heard of, like a Dravet syndrome or something, but it was up 58%. It closed near the lows of the session. When you see that, like inverted hammer at close, well, not bad, 39% of the, but it was up to 13, closed at 1029. So anyway, just some profit taking there. I'm going to move on. I've got to go to the retail names very quickly here. Krispy Kreme going for the, McDonald's is going to be serving Krispy Kreme now. And that's a big deal. And it's a pretty brilliant move for McDonald's to make it, convenient with you get your coffee and your donut or whatever when you're drive through, because we are a society of luxury and convenience. So really a sharp move for Krispy Kreme. They're going after the the police clientele with their donuts. I'm just kidding. I have many friends who are police officers, and they joke about it too. Anyway, Elf. I mentioned it earlier, just how they had this symmetrical cup shape pulled back. This is a classic cup with handle breaking out, and now it's just kind of going sideways. This is what I call backing and filling, digesting gains. Just hovering around the 21 EMA. Doing nothing wrong. Right around, you notice that the sideways action is coinciding with that 200 level, which is a psychological round number that Jesse Livermore spoke of. Okay, Celsius. This is when they said they were expanding into Australia, New Zealand. Good move for them. The thing ramped at the open and once again sold off like everything else today. So anyway, what are you going to do? I got to get to the oil and gas stocks because those stocks are higher. I'm not going to go for the ones that are on my ready list. I'm just going to mention some that are making new highs. Weatherford, Tidewater. This is a field and services group. You can see the group is 154 out of 197, so it's not real strong, but Tidewater is a leader, and OII is in that group, and this is starting to curl up. You can see the slower term moving averages crossing above the longer term moving averages. So 2292 is definitely an area of interest for me. And I might want to take a swing at OII field service. Like I say, the group is not that strong, but you got to start somewhere, and maybe this is the start of something for this group. You can see it's still consolidating within a base there. Anyway, that's it for me, except for I lied in honor of the great Steve Jobs. I have one more thing. I mentioned we are a society of travel and leisure, and I'm starting to see these travel and leisure stocks just making new highs and ramping higher. This is travel and leisure. TNL is a ticker symbol. You can see, it's got the growth profile, estimated growth as well here. So what can I say? I mean, we like our creature comforts. We've got DoorDash. We want DoorDash delivered to our house, right? Look at this thing. Just broke out of a base and surfing its moving averages, looking fantastic. DraftKings, we can sit at home, bet on March Madness. This one looks phenomenal as well. Believe it received an upgrade today, but definitely another strong stock in this kind of travel leisure cohort. Domino's, you can order and have it delivered, DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever. Yeah, I don't do that, but obviously this stock is very strong. This is a shelf pattern here. A gapped higher on earnings and formed this little shelf as a pullback to the 21. And we've been seeing a lot of that type of action recently, which just shows that, institutions aren't selling this stock. And now when they start to buy it, it moves higher. Hilton Hotels. All right, travel and leisure, right? Just travel around the world, stay at your Hyatt hotel. Did I say Hilton? Hyatt hotel. This one's making new highs, pulling back to the 10 and just surfing. It's 10 EMA. Carvana, press a button, a car arrives at your door. Couldn't be more convenient than that. We are a society of leisure. Carvana is an ultimate of that. This is a heavy short squeeze after this earnings gap higher. Make Mike your trip, not my trip, make your trip. MMYT, make my trip is the leisure travel booking. This is an Indian company and obviously just showing strength. So TravelZoo, I don't know if some of you use TravelZoo. This one's set up in a base with the 1066 buy point there. You can see this cup shaped pattern pull back to the 10. Now the last couple of sessions, it's moved higher with the above average volume. So TravelZoo looks pretty good. And TRIP, this one I had on our ready list. I got tired of it doing nothing, but it's still actionable. And there you can see this stage one base just doesn't go anywhere. It's just going sideways. Yeah, down 2% this week. This is a very frustrating stock for me. That's why I took it off my ready list. But anyway, we are a society of leisure, and it's showing up in the charts. People have money, they're traveling, they're eating, they're dining, they're going out, they're working and enjoying life. So I suggest you do the same. Thank you for watching. Don't worry, this week is there's going to be some ups and downs, some window dressing and profit taking. But as we get into April and into earnings, I think we're going to see that same theme show up with the artificial intelligence and the power, construction. I think those will continue to carry the day for quarters and quarters to go. So I look forward to hearing from these companies next month. You take care, and at mcstockcharts.com, we never give up. Thank you for watching.